Hey guys, it's me, Celeste. So today I am coming through with books that I read that inspired my growth and helped my mindset. Um, Sidebar. Today I watched Keon Henderson and Shawnee Henderson, of course, Pastor Keon, and their marriage and what he was saying about relationships. And he said every 7 years, a person evolves. And what he said is true. Because if we're in certain environments that don't encourage our growth, we'll remain the same. We won't change. We won't grow. We'll always be the same. So not only does your environment matter, the things that you're pouring into your mindset and into yourself. So I have a list of books, and you guys, I've read so much these past 7 years, which is crazy, that it really made a difference on my mindset, and I grew more and more. The last one I read was the book by Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey. It's called Build the Life You Want. And that is just one of the many. But that book literally spoke to me on a mental level of understanding people better and understanding myself and the decisions that I make, where they come from, how my mind reacts, how I interpret things, and how not to instantly jump to a negative mindset and be able to identify, am I going to respond to this? And the feeling that I'm having, is this a feeling of anger? And why am I feeling this way? Is this a trauma that I need to address before I say it out of my mouth? It's so good, guys. You have to get the book, okay? I can only give you the tip of the iceberg. When you read it, you're going to be like, oh my God, she was right. But the books I've read, the first one was A Mountain Is You. And I believe her name is pronounced Bria or Brianna West. Triggers, how we can stop reacting and start learning. I think his name is pronounced Richo or Rico. It's Richo. The next is The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz. He has so many. He also wrote The Four Agreements, and I've read that one as well. Of course, Build the Life You Want by Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey. Motivation Manifesto. You guys, this book, it's a little, like, it's a small black book. It's in my room. It's a small black book. You guys, I used to carry this book in my pocketbook because, I have the mom bag, okay? I would carry the book in my purse because anytime I had, like, if I was waiting to check out in the grocery line, if I was waiting on to catch a flight, if I was just sitting in the car waiting for the kids to get out of after school, it was the book that I kept in my bag that literally inspired me and motivated me. I promise you, motivated me to get up and go and do. I had, like, you have like that motivation and you're like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do it. Today's the day. That book made me say, you know what? We're not talking anymore. We're going to put action. Action, action, action. So you guys, and this book is by Brandon Butchart. Burchard. Next on my list is emotional intelligence. This is so important. It is valuable to have emotional intelligence so you are not responding to people in a mindset of, I know everything and you know nothing, but not even know nothing, just I know enough. So I have enough credentials to where I can speak and I can say, and it's, what I know. You're speaking from a I perspective instead of listening to the person, hearing what they're saying, and then dissecting each word. Like, okay, so when she said this, okay, got it. So for instance, I'll give you guys an example. There was a time in my life you could not say anything to me, like, and I mean nothing. You better not come at me incorrect. You better not say anything to me that I don't want to hear or I don't like, or I'm gonna snap. Okay, you're not gonna talk to me like that. You better watch your mouth. And then it got to the point where I actually sit back now and I'm just like, you know what, it it's okay. They still got some traumas they got to heal from. They got a lot, and it's so bad that I see the trauma, but because I know it's there, I'm not going to speak to you in a manner of, I know what's wrong with you and you don't even know what's wrong with you. I'm going to speak to you in a manner of, oh, okay, well, you know what, let's not even worry about it. Let's agree to disagree and move on and leave it alone. Like, I don't want any parts of it. I know if I respond, it's going to make the situation worse. So let's just leave it alone. And it's not, and I'm not perfect because sometimes I still have moments where it's like, you know what? Hey, look, this is what we not fits to do. Okay. And yes, I said fence stuff. Okay. This is what we not fence to do. But I then go back and go back like, why did we respond like that? Because responding lets you know where you're hurting. Triggers let you know where you need to work. So you don't know what you need work on until it actually happens. You could be having a conversation with your boyfriend or your significant other and they say something to you and you like, first off, instant, you know what I'm saying? It's an instant rage. And I will tell you now, that is where you need to work at. Responding to someone out of anger, responding out of worry, responding out of fear, you really want to get to the root of the issue. You need to get to the root of it because it could be you and it could not be the person. And I know that's so hard to hear because it's hard. It was hard for me. Okay. And it was so bad because no one told me it was me. It was me telling me it was me. No one had read the books. No one had did the work. It was me telling me, okay, by reading these books, this is how I fix this. This is how I don't respond that way. This is how I know, all that is important. And I will do a special episode later on down the line, guys, about emotional intelligence because that is something we all need. Okay. It's like common sense, right? It ain't so common. Emotional intelligence goes in that category. And the next one is The Gift of Change by Mary Ann Williamson. You guys, when I say I love this woman, I love this woman. She writes to you from a perspective of mercy, of giving grace, not only to others, but to yourself, because you can be your toughest critic. So that book alone, The Gift of Change, let me know that God is not a God of anger. He's a God of love. And as I continue my journey, building my relationship stronger with God and with Christ, it's not looking at God as if everything I do, he's like, no, no, no. He's more of like, okay, I'm going to let you learn. And when you see why, you'll understand. Like when you do things and you're instantly like, oh, I'm going to go to hell. It doesn't work like that. He's not ready to just send you there. And I explain it to my kids like this. This is how it was explained to me. When God sees me, when he sees Celeste, but he sees Jesus. He doesn't just see me, he sees Jesus. So I get grace and mercy because he's not looking at me like, oh, you know what? You just another sinner that just in the way. No, it's grace and mercy. So instead of my mindset automatically going, oh my God, I'm the worst person, I'm the worst person, because the words we say and how we talk to ourselves matter. So I now was like, you know what, God, forgive me. I'm just not where I need to be. I am a work in progress. And I let that be. And I let that be. I just let that be that and I move on. I don't want to beat myself up because then that leads people to depression and it leads them to anxiety and then they start feeling like they're not good enough. And I'm telling you right now, the thoughts you think, how you think about yourself is how you'll become. As you think, that's who you are. As you're thinking, oh, I'm stupid, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, you're telling yourself that, and your brain is literally repeating this every time. Like you make a mistake, it's like, oh, I'm such an idiot, oh, I'm so stupid. You are telling your brain that's who we are, that's who we should be. That is not how we speak to ourselves. That's not how I speak to myself. That's not how I would want someone else to speak to themselves. I wouldn't even want anybody to speak like that to my kids. Like they literally, I tell them your words have power. Your words have power. God, the universe, whatever it is you believe in, you speak it out of your mouth. It goes into the world, and that is how it is. The world, the universe, God doesn't play. It doesn't play. Your words, even when you're joking, it's still coming out of your mouth. You can't just say, "Oh, I hate you," and then that's it. It's coming out of your mouth. Hate is such a strong word that you've spoken it into the universe. So now it's out there that you hate. And now you're trying to figure out, well, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And people always say good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to everything happens because of this and this. Our mouth and our mindset. I understood monks better. I understood Buddhism better. And Buddhism is such a peaceful, I don't want to say religion, but it's just peace and tranquility to where I'm drawn into it. But it's not my practice, it's more of a meditation, if that makes sense. Like, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, I believe in the Holy Spirit, but I also meditate, and I also believe in communicating, because in the Bible, God communicated to them through dreams and visions, and the numbers, when they marched around the wall. And my mom is here. And yeah, so they marched around the wall. Mom, how many times did they march around the wall of Jericho? 7 times. So the number seven, God created the earth in seven. All the numbers mean something. So when I start seeing my 111, my 222s, my 333s, I actually pay attention to it, because I feel like those are my angel numbers, because I believe in angels, and I believe that that's the way we're going to communicate. And it's not, it has to be, it's just, I'll give you an example, guys. I love giving examples because I like to make it clear for people. One day I was going through something, and it was just like a mental moment for me. And I was just really upset to the point, like, I started crying. I was just like driving, getting ready to get on the interstate, and I was just bawling my eyes out. And this truck rides by, and on the side of it, um, it says, "I got you, God." Like, I got you, God. And it was, and I instantly was like, I see it. I got you. I get it. You got me. And I don't know what I was worrying about or what I was upset about, but if I'm crying, my little heart is hurting. Okay. Like, if I'm literally bawling my eyes out, there is something that is bothering me so deeply that my spirit is not at rest. And I was just bawling my eyes out. And the truck, literally, it was the big trucks that deliver all the stuff. Um, I got you, dash God. And I instantly felt so much peace. And I just dried my eyes, and I was like, I get you, Lord. I got you. I hear you loud and clear. So it's things like that. Like, there are signs, and wait, everybody's like, oh, he's gonna send me this. Oh, he's communicating with us on a daily basis. You're seeing things constantly and consistently, and you can't figure out why or what does it mean. You have to dig deeper within self to know. And in order to dig deeper, let me show you guys this. I know y'all probably like, she reads a lot. Okay, so, and I go to Goodwill for my books sometimes because it's cheaper. But this is called The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. This is the book me and my kids use for our Bible study that we do at home. And it says, "What on earth am I here for?" And that was one of the lessons we did, was about digging deeper within ourselves, like, in order to know who we are, connecting to Christ, connecting to God, in order to know self. And that relationship there lets you know who you are. So I say all that to say, guys, when you reading is not just there. When people say read, growing up for me, open your mind. Reading a book will open your mind. It not only opened my mind, but it helped me develop mentally. Had I not read, I would not be the person I am today. And if I did become this person, it would have been through some really bad traumatic experience to make me say, you know what? I am done with that. Like, it was so it was so deep. And reading, I can't stop. Like, there's always a book. I gotta read it. This person just did a new book. Oh, I need to read it. And I read a variety of books, but mostly anything with self development and self improvement, because I know that if I'm growing and I'm changing, my boys are growing and they're changing. My mom is growing and she's changing. The people around me are growing and they're changing. And instead of meeting them halfway, I want to offer them that same love and that same grace that I would want offered to me. So instead of being instant, like, nope, shut it down, I ain't doing it, I'm not doing it, I take a moment and I think, like, okay, I love this person, I care about this person, so I need to make myself more available to appreciate them and show them my appreciation and do more of the things that they would want. Or if that's where they're comfortable, let me meet them halfway. Everything can't be my way or my environment or what I want, because that's not loving someone. When you genuinely, truly love someone, you do meet them halfway. You do compromise. You do make sacrifices because love is not just about you. And when you really, truly care about people, you take into consideration how they feel. So I will put the books that inspired my growth, that helped me grow, that helped my mindset. And this is just some guys. I've read so many books. I had to get off, and it was even Audible. And I know people say bad things about Audible, like, "Oh, that's not reading." Oh, it is because you learned your ABCs through song, right? You didn't read them. You learned them through song first, and then you put the words with the letters with the letters. You learned lyrics, music. Music is really powerful. Words being read to you, spoken to you. This is how you're not walking around reading every day, all day like this. You have to drive. You're listening. You hear more than you actually read. You hear more because it's an everyday thing. If you have, if you can hear, you hear more than you read because that is how we are as people. We'll talk, now this thing with the texting is like, oh, that's a big deal. But when you're at work and you're interacting at a grocery store or something, you're talking to people. You're talking to people. Even in your office, you're talking to people. When you go to church, when you go to the grocery store, when you take your kids to the park, you're talking to people. You're not texting the person in front of you. You're talking to them. And the words people say, we remember how they made us feel. Though somebody said they didn't like me. Okay, I remember when you said you didn't like me, how that made me feel. They may, like Maya Angelou says, you people may not remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. So we should read more, grow more, and develop more. If that makes sense, grow more by reading. And as you read, you'll understand how to treat the next person. I would not advise anybody to learn through trauma, and that's speaking from experience. Do not learn through trauma because that's not the road. You don't want to go that road. If you can save yourself a scar on your heart or on your soul, save yourself that scar. Learn through reading, through growth, through speaking to people and hearing how they've changed, how they've grown. And that's the whole thing I want for everybody that I know, that even the people I don't know. I want everyone to grow in a way that allows them to offer more grace to themselves and to other people. So I will leave the books that inspired my growth, some of them, in the chat. And I may do a part two because this is just like the tip of the iceberg. You talking about 7 years worth of books. And if I showed you guys my house of where like all my books, I've got books in my room, in my kids' room at the top of their closet. I got books under my TV. I got books here in my office and in my son's room. There's like two bookshelves because it used to be my office, but I gave it to my son. And there's books I have books everywhere, and it's not just for me, and it's not just like just reading. It's things to help them grow with math, science, social studies. If I see a book and I'm like, chemistry, well, I got 5 boys, somebody's gonna need this book somewhere down the line. The foundation doesn't change. They may change the way they teach it, but you still got to add, multiply, subtract, divide. It's certain things, the principles are there. The foundation stays the same, but the way they teach it is different. So if I can help my kids in their education, learn in their life, learn how to go to a book first instead of quickly hopping online, I have solved half of their problems because you may not have internet one day, but that book, hey, that book can come in handy. All right. So again, guys, I'm leaving it at the bottom. And my next episode will be this Saturday. I am bringing on this wonderful powerhouse. Her name is Quilla, and she was a mom. She's still a mom, and she works. And she became like this trailblazing businesswoman, guys. So I definitely will be interviewing her this Saturday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, so that she can tell her story of how she became this amazing trailblazing businesswoman. And then I have some other ladies coming forth because they've become like powerful women, just strong, beautiful business, go to mental growth. Like these are women that I've met and they have just been inspirational all around the board. And I'm going to share some of that with you guys. Until the next time, guys, catch you soon.